Hey guys, Ailoupup here. Today is my recent reads. I have 5 books here, 3 of which were 3 stars and 2 of which were 4 stars. The first book I have to talk about is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. This is the first book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, or the second if you're adding in the prequel, following the 4 Pevensey siblings who are evacuated from their home during World War II. In boredom, they explore the house that they are staying in, and during a game of hide and seek, they find a magical wardrobe that takes them to the land of Narnia that has been cursed with winter year-round. I enjoyed this mostly out of nostalgia, although the series as a whole is not one that I'm actually all that familiar with. I have read this particular book a handful of times. I did read it once when I was in high school, probably about 14, and again, I think a couple of years out of high school. But since then, it has been a few years, and I have never actually read the entire series, which I intend to do on this reread. The characters were cute, and I really love the world, but something about the way it's written doesn't quite sit well with me. And as I was reading and then thinking about it later, I noticed that there weren't any really scenes that really stuck out in my memory. Scenes that would make me say, I love that, or I remember that so well. And it's one of those books that I only really remember once I start rereading it. I gave this a 3 out of 5. Next, I have A Hidden Enemy by Aaron Hunter, the second book in the Survivors series. The leash dog pack from the first book have now, in this book, found a place to settle. However, they quickly discover that there is a second dog pack, a wild dog pack, that is used for the wild, who have settled in the same area, and they will literally stop at nothing to get them out of the area. This is the first book of 2 that I have in this pile that isn't a reread. I don't enjoy these books quite as much as I do the Warrior series by Aaron Hunter, but they do have me intrigued enough that I do really want to know what happens later in the series. I don't hate any of the characters, but I also don't really love them either. I'm mainly just neutral about them, and I'm really kind of here for the plot. Except for Bella. I got really annoyed with Bella in this book. I gave this a 3 out of 5. The second and last book I have here that is not a reread is My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. Kate is dying from leukemia, and her sister, Anna, is a product of pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, I believe. So she has all of the cells that Kate needs in order to survive. And before she is 13, she has been to so many hospitals and surgeries, even though she herself is not sick. When it comes about that Kate needs a kidney transplant, Anna decides to sue her parents for medical emancipation. I really enjoyed this. There were parts that were a little slow, and parts that really I just didn't care about all that much. Mainly the entire relationship between 2 of the characters. I'm not gonna say who because that is a spoiler. I just found it really unnecessary and didn't add anything to the ultimate story. And I found myself just kind of wanting to skip past the parts where they talked about their past and what had gone on in the past and what was going on with them in the present. I did really enjoy the ending though, and I was okay with most of the characters otherwise. I gave this a 4 out of 5. Book number 4 is Wildborn by Brandon Mull, the first book in the Spirit Animals series. Each book in this series is written by a different author. This one, like I said, is written by Brandon Mull. It follows 4 children, each with a bond with a spirit animal of legend. With the rising of the dark, these children are destined to save the world. I have always kind of liked the spirit animal aspect in some books. Just the idea of having some sort of animal that you can call at will is just really interesting to me for some reason. The book itself was really just okay. I enjoyed the beginning and the ending bits, but the middle was just kind of middle of the road for me and just a little uninteresting, which is weird because usually I do like training bits, which is basically what the middle was, but it just wasn't all that interesting to me. I didn't really care about the training. As for the four main characters, two of them were all right. I didn't mind them, but the other two I just found kind of annoying. I gave this a 3 out of 5. The last book I have a dedicated review for, and that is First to Die by James Patterson, the first book in the Woman's Murder Club series. Someone has started killing newlyweds, and Lindsay is put on the case. Throughout the book, she brings in 3 other women, each with kind of ties to the newlyweds, and they really want to figure out what happened to them, thus forming the Woman's Murder Club. I really enjoyed the women's friendships in this one. They are there for each other and support each other basically through everything. James Patterson has a fairly fast and easy to read writing style, and his chapters are so short that sometimes you can go through 10 or 15 chapters without even realizing it. That being said, I didn't really enjoy this reread as much as I did the first time I read it. The first time I read it, I believe I gave it a 5 out of 5, and in that review, I believe I did give it a 5 out of 5, but this time I bumped it down a mark to a 4 out of 5. Those are some of the books that I have read recently. Let me know in the comments what you have read, and I will see you next time. Bye!